Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiravet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today we'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, Verse 21. Nila Rakto Palamboja Nila Rakto Palamboja kāraṇḍavas kāraṇḍavas hamsasarasa cakravākas hamsacārasa cakravākas kāraṇḍavas nikujitam Nila Rakto Palamboja kāraṇḍavas hamsasarasa cakravākas kāraṇḍavas nikujitam. Nila Rakto Palamboja kāraṇḍavas hamsasarasa cakravākas kāraṇḍavas nikujitam. Nila Rakta Palamboja kāraṇḍavas hamsasarasa cakravākas kāraṇḍavas nikujitam. Nila Rakto Palamboja kāraṇḍavas hamsasarasa cakravākas kāraṇḍavas nikujitam. Nila, blue. Rakta, red. Utpala, lotus. Ambaja, born from the water. Kālara, another kind of lotus. Indīvara, another kind of lotus. Akaram, the mine. Amsa, swans. Sarasa, cranes. Cakrava, birds. kāraṇḍavas, birds. Nikujitam, vibrated by their sounds. Translation. In that great lake, there were different types of lotus flowers. Some of them were bluish and some of them were red. Some of them grew at night, some in the day, some like the indīvara lotus flower in the evening. Combined together, the lotus flowers filled the lake so full that the lake appeared to be a great mine of such flowers. Consequently, on the shores there were swans and cranes, cakravākas, kāraṇḍavas, and other beautiful water birds standing about. Purport. The word akaram, mine, is significant in this verse, for the reservoir of water appeared like a mine from which different type of lotus flowers were produced. Some of the lotus flowers grew during the day, some at night, some in the evening, and accordingly they had different names and different colors. All these flowers were present on that lake. And because the lake was so calm and quiet, filled with lotus flowers, superior birds like swans, cakravākas, and kāraṇḍavas stood on the shores and vibrated their different songs, making the entire scene attractive and beautiful. As there are different types of human beings, according to the association of three qualities of material nature, there are similarly different types of birds, bees, trees, etc. Everything is divided according to the three qualities of material nature. Birds like swans and cranes, who enjoy clear waters and lotus flowers, are different from crows, who enjoy filthy places. Similarly, there are persons who are controlled by the mode of ignorance and passion, and those who are controlled by the modes of goodness. The creation is so varied that there are always varieties found in every society. Thus, on the bank of this lake, all the superior birds lived to enjoy that atmosphere created by that great reservoir filled with lotus flowers. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so we are discussing about the Prachetas. So we know that the sons of Prachinabahi, they were seriously took the orders of their father and to their heart and soul, and they started traveling to the west to execute his father's orders. So while traveling, the Prachetas happened to see a great reservoir of water which seemed almost to be like an ocean. But on close observance, they found out that it was a lake which was very calm and quiet, just like, mind of a great soul. But it was filled with inhabitants like aquatics and lot of lotus flowers, different varieties, different kinds. They also saw that on the shore of this lake was lot of birds, right? All the superior birds, they say, like the swans and the cakravākas and kāraṇḍavas, right? So the key point here in this purport, Prabhupada discusses about the mind. So this mind of what? So Prachetas are observing that it looks like a mind of flowers, right? And Prabhupada in the purport, he mentions that it symbolizes the source. So mind is the source of variety of that flowers. Or we could also say it's a reservoir of water from which variety of flowers comes. We know in material world or spiritual world that there is a source for everything, right? And who is the source? Who is the Karana? Krishna. So that's it, right? So we should also understand that anything that is beautiful that exists in the world, Anything that is intelligent, anything that is magnificent, there is always an intelligence behind it, and the source of all of it is coming from Krishna. And the way we acknowledge it, because we have learnt in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me, and those who are wise will perfectly engage in my transcendental loving service and worship me with all their hearts. So this is the essence of today's verse, and basically the beauty that Prabhupada is quoting around the lake, the different type of lotuses, the different type of birds will all try to say the same message. So in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Lord Krishna declares that He is the original source, right? Just like how it's compared here to the mine of flowers, to that lake, reservoir of water, for the birth of different type of flowers. So for the material and the spiritual world also, there is a source, and that is Krishna. And everything that exists flow from Him. Mata sarvam pravartate, emphasizing on creation, maintenance, and anything to exist will be rooted on Him, and even destruction is rooted on Him. So those who realize that truth will find out that we are supposed to be devoted to Him, and they will start doing the devotional service from their heart and with love. So basically that's what we have to understand from the concept called akaram, or the mind. The main word in the purport Prabhupada emphasizes is the mind, because we want to know who is the source of all the beauty that exists in the world. So next in the verse we see that there is description of lotus flowers of different colors, bluish, red, and some are flowers which bloom during the day, some bloom during the night, some in the evening. And what does Prabhupada compare it to? He compares it to the different type of human beings that exist. And how do we have different type of human beings? Because of their association with material nature and modes. So what are the modes that we have? Mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, right? So by one associating with the mode of goodness and passion and ignorance, one will have a certain type of consciousness. So some might have more mode of goodness, some might have more in the mode of passion, some might be more in the mode of ignorance. And let's say for example, we can compare that to the three different primary colors, right? So let's say, what are the three primary colors? Red, blue, and yellow. So combining red and yellow, what do we get? Orange. Combining blue and yellow, what do you get? Green. So combining blue and red, what do we get? Purple. So similarly, the modes of ignorance, passion, and goodness, if we combine, we get different varieties. So that's why we have different variety of people with different variety of consciousness. Can we actually name like the number of colors that you can bring out by these combinations? Let's say if you add a little bit of white to the yellow and blue combination, you will have different shades of green. That depends on how much white you add, right? And even when you add black, you will have different shades of green again. So the combination, just by increasing the mode of goodness or just by increasing the mode of ignorance, you will have variety there just in one color. Shades of green and shades of darker shades of green. So mode of goodness and mode of ignorance. So the lotus flowers are also like that. So we can compare the lotus flowers that bloom in the morning to be that in the mode of goodness, in the night to be in the mode of ignorance, and in the mode of passion, maybe the ones that bloom in the evening. So this is parallel that Prabhupada is trying to bring between the gunas that an individual carries to that of the lotus flowers. Yeah? And do we all agree that we all are a combination of gunas? Mode of passion, ignorance and goodness. So one in the mode of passion, what do they do? Usually, how do we identify? Like if I am in mode of passion, how do we identify? Lots of plans. Very active, passionate. Could be very stern in the tone, maybe even forceful. And how would we identify people in the mode of ignorance? Lazy, lethargic, yeah? Destructive as well, yes. Very sluggish, very slow, not interested in anything, unmotivated, frustrated, very anxious would be a passionate, I would think. How would be mode of goodness people? Calm, quiet, relaxed, but doing what is necessary. They will also have a goal. They will also do it in a very nice fashion, and we will know it, right? It's like the sadhus, we can say. But above all of that is also Shuddha Sattva, right? In devotion. So this is the understanding that we should get from that variety of flowers that Prabhupada brings out in that verse. What's the next point? We are calling out, in the verse, we have understood that there are different kinds of superior birds. Swans, cranes, cakravākas, kāraṇḍavas, right? And what are they doing? They are on the shore and they are beautifully singing. And Prabhupada notes that these birds, like swans and cranes, they are enjoying the clear water. And the lotus flowers are different to that of the crows, because these superior birds are enjoying the association of the lotus flowers in the clear waters, whereas crows enjoy being in the filthy places. So are we understanding the difference to one who is in the mode of goodness to one who is in the mode of ignorance? So which bird can we relate to mode of ignorance? The crows, right? The superior birds are swan and crane. What is the speciality in swans? They only take the nectar and leave the clear water, right? Or they only take the milk and they leave the clear water. So they are superior. They are said to be in the mode of goodness. So we also see that by the swans taking association of the lotus flower, it is also said, if one devotee takes association of a pure devotee, then one can progress very quickly in bhakti. And if the bird gets association like that of a dirty water or murky water, or association of somebody who's in the mode of ignorance, then accordingly the association is given to that particular person. And it's more like one is taking association of mode of ignorance if one wants to be in the same position. There is an example, right, where Indra from the heaven, he commits an offense by saying something wrong to his spiritual master Brihaspati. Have you heard of that? So Indra commits an offense to his spiritual master, and the spiritual master curses him to become a pig. And he goes to the material world. Lord Indra, as a pig, he start associating with the material stuff, and he, as you know, hogs eat dirt and yucky stuff, and he gets used to that material world. He gets used to that taste. So even when Lord Brahma comes and says, "Hey Indra, you are the king of heavens, what are you doing here? Come back," Indra refuses, because he was so used to this material world that he's become so comfortable, like most of us. So it's basically like he takes comfort from this material world and he wants to continue his life in the material world. But we need somebody like our spiritual master to remind ourselves to go back home, back to Godhead. And that's what is given. Even if people like Indra, who has been in such great positions, have come down and they're staying comfortable here, then how easy it is for us to stay complacent here. Right? So that's why we often have to remind ourselves about our position, where we are and what our goal is, where we have to go. So the next point is about the tranquility and beauty of the water. So when the Prachetas were flying, they saw that this lake was very calm and quiet, and that attracted them. And that's when they started digging deep about the different type of flowers and birds and everything. So this clear tranquility and beauty is referred to the sattva consciousness. So how do we achieve that sort of consciousness? We are in the path of bhakti, so we all want to be in the mode of goodness most of the time. How do we plan to achieve? Do we take care of the body? Do we take care of the mind? What do we do? Associate with pure devotees. Yes, that's a way to. Is it for the mind or is it for the soul or is it for the body? Associating with pure devotees. Or how does it help? All three. How body? Excellent. Very good. Yes. So one is, yes, they definitely take care. By associating with pure devotees, we understand that we should take care of the body. And how does a pure devotee teach us to take care of the body? Because they themselves keep themselves clean and they use the body in the service of Krishna, and they don't overnourish or undernourish the body, and they keep the body in sattva state. How do associating with pure devotees take care of our mind? Anyone? You can also answer. Yeah. Prabhu, your name? Yugam Kunda. Yeah. Yugam Prabhu, you go ahead. How does pure devotees take care of our mind? Huh? Plan making factory. Very good. They shut it down. Okay. They don't keep on making plans. Right? Yeah. They surrender their mind to the spiritual master. Very good. Very good. So basically, yes, the mind should be engaged in the chanting of the holy name, the mind should be engaged in the reading of the scriptures, the mind should be engaged in giving that knowledge to many people. So then what happens? Mind becomes calm and quiet, then it's not agitated. Then we are not actually satisfying our own desires, our own pleasures, right? Then soul, of course, because we are servicing the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the association of pure devotees, then our soul also becomes purified. And why we want to associate with such pure devotees? Because they always carry Krishna in their hearts, and by associating with them, we get nourished and we are always happy. And we know how to please Shri Shri Radha Gopinath and how to please the devotees by the pure devotees' mercy. Okay, pure devotees association is one which will actually help us be in good consciousness. What else? We also discussed few while we discussed association. Books, scriptures, yes. Reading of our scriptures, chanting of the holy name. See, just like how we go to the gym to take care of our body, we also have to go to the mental gym. We should do our meditation, we should do our reading regularly, just so to make our mind our best friend than our worst enemy. So once we start doing that, then it becomes easier for us to train our mind in doing what we have to. Yeah, so it's very important to train our mind. And then we can be in Sattva platform, and from Sattva we can go to Shuddha Sattva platform by engaging in devotional service with our heart and soul and with love as well. So the examples that I can quote is that of great leaders, could be great scientists, could be great actors, could be great players. What do they all have in common? So when we talked about training the body, we talked about training the mind. So what do they have in common? All of the great leaders, great actors? Discipline. So the first war that they actually won against is not, let's say, Alexander the Great. He would have fought many battles, right? But what was the first battle that he actually won against? The war against himself. So that is self-discipline. Because one has won the battle against themselves, then it is easy to win the battle against others. So it's very important. It could be that famous actor Jackie Chan, or it could be the Alexander the Great. What did they do? Or even Barack Obama. What do they all have in common? Alexander the Great used to do so much of penances. Could be getting up early in the morning, or it could be making self-discipline by detaching himself from material, could be pleasures of eating or whatever. But there was some self-discipline. And we know that Jackie Chan in his early days in this drama company, he was actually squeezed to the core to get the best out of him. It seems he used to repeat a particular activity again and again and again to get it to perfection. And that's what makes him a great actor. Or similarly, a cricketer or tennis players, what do? They practice the same strokes or different strokes, but multiple times to get better at it, right? Similarly, what we should do? Memorize. I'm telling it for myself. Similarly, I should memorize the shlokas again and again to get better at it. Similarly, I should try again and again to wake up early in the morning. Similarly, I should train my mind to not see bad in others, like the crows. Similarly, I should try to do service to others just so to please Krishna, not to just satisfy myself, my ego. So, training is very important, and that's how we can overcome the consciousness of the crow. So that's what Prabhupada relates to that of this lake, which is still and calm and quiet. So by we practicing that self-discipline again and again, then we'll be able to attain the state of sattva consciousness. Why? Because then we don't have that lusty desire or greedy desire or anger, that which satisfy our senses. When we are dovetailing all our desires to satisfy Krishna, then slowly and steadily the anarthas within us will reduce. So that's very important, and that should be our aim. See, we identify that for everything that is beautiful, we can see Krishna everywhere, right? We were discussing in one other Bhakti Sangha class about how to see Krishna in everything. So here Prabhupada is teaching us how to see Krishna in the lotus, in the birds. What is a good bird? What is a bad bird? What is it doing? What is a clear water saying to us? What is that mountains? Have we seen great, big mountains? Many people think that it all existed like this, right? Or falls, for example, great big reservoir of water. Can we believe that it all existed just by sudden chemical reaction? So much earthquakes are happening, so much floods are happening. Who's the source of everything? Have we seen a beetroot or any rose petal under a big lens? What does it say? Have we seen a leaf under a big lens? What does it say? There is so much of design and architecture behind every small thing that it has been created. How can it just exist as it is? There are some roots. So many times we are eating roots which is in the mud. We are cleaning it and we are consuming it. Have we thought how that nourishment is going to the root and how we are able to get such nice tasty foods from the soil, right? So what are we appreciating when we do that? Krishna, his design, his architecture, his painting, the colors in the birds, the parrots, multicolored birds, lion and tiger, you name it, there is intelligence behind it. But how did we just think that it just existed? No. Right? So this is the argument we can say. Because there is so much of intelligence behind, and once we understand who's the Karana, then we know who to be devoted to. Not to any Tom, Dick and Harry. Right? Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So then we know whom we have to surrender to. So then we start having full devotion towards him. And when we have full devotion, what do? We start acting lovingly towards Krishna. And how do we show our devotion? By our service. And the service should be from our heart. Not because, okay, somebody asked me to do, so I'll do. Or I have to finish this task because it's in the list of activities to do. Even a small activity that we do, if we do it for the pleasure of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, it could be just, as we know, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Just offer water, just offer a leaf. But because we know much more than that, because we are learning, and if we are in knowledge, then we know we can do much more than just offering a flower or a fruit. So we start giving this knowledge which we have acquired to many people. So others also get benefited. So that's basically what we have to learn. So by seeing this beautiful lake, we need to identify who's the source behind it. And when we know who is that supreme source, who has given all of this material world and the spiritual world, then we know whom we have to be devoted to. And then we will engage ourselves in devotional service. So that's the crux. Thank you very much. Any comments, questions? Yeah, bro. Can you repeat the last word? Yeah. Yeah. So Prabhu is asking, most of the time when we start doing devotional service, it becomes mechanical. And also sometimes we get into the mode of passion. How to avoid that? So when we know it becomes mechanical, then we have to challenge our thoughts. In my understanding, so let's say, okay, I'm doing my chanting, I'm like getting distracted, or just for the sake of getting it done, I'm doing it. And then I have to remind myself, okay, let me stand up and do it for a while. Or it could be that, okay, I'm reading, then I'm just reading for the sake of reading, not actually connecting personally. Then remind yourself that Prabhupada has actually put in so much of effort, and so many people have put in all their effort. I mean, this is what we learn, but again, it goes out of our mind. So then we have to do some service which is really tough to actually tell to ourselves. You could take a book distribution as an example, or you could take up some fundraising as an example. Go on the street, beg for this books to be taken by people. Then we know, okay, we are nothing, right? Without spiritual master and without Krishna's mercy, we are nothing. When we know we are nothing, then we start depending more on the holy name, depending more on the books. Because when calamities come, that's when we depend more on scriptures, or depend on philosophy or knowledge, right? So we have to, I mean, I wouldn't say go get miseries in your life, because there's already miseries by your mind and everything. But understand that this is the misery caused by the mind, that we are not able to focus. So try to avoid the distraction. You know better than me, but I'm just telling whatever I know. So yeah, in practical ways, whatever your difficulty is, focus on that situation. Maybe write down to Krishna, journal it and say, Krishna, these are the difficulties that I'm facing. This is the problem that I have. And then while you read, you might have a solution yourself. Right? While you associate with pure devotees, then they might tell the answer themselves. While preparing for the class, I just remembered what Devamata Maharaj was saying. So in the purpose of Srila Prabhupada, we have to cram it so much so that we can deliver those pieces of words, whatever Prabhupada has written, very nicely to others. So then go deep in each and every sentence when you read. And then start to apply maybe at least even one thing that, hit you. So try to apply that. Then we feel, when we apply, then we get the results, then we feel more encouraged. Okay, first one is working, then second one will also work. Things like that. Any other questions, comments?